So in this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and start looking at waypoints. What we have from before is our character moving, it can collect coins, our character can jump, things like that. So let's take a look at creating a simple pathfinding system for our enemies to follow. So what I did between the tutorials is I just made the floor blue just to sort of differentiate my character from the ground instead of that gray, and also to give me some color variations between these little platforms. So let's go to game object, create other, and then we're going to create a sphere. I'm going to go ahead and hit R and scale this up. I'm going to make it sort of big for now, and just so that I can have a visual marker in my level. One of the things I want to do is I don't want to be able to see it in my game, but I want to kind of sort of make it invisible to the camera. So what I'm going to do for all of my waypoints is I'm going to add them to a layer. So first, let's rename our sphere waypoint. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this waypoint into my models folder here. So that creates a waypoint prefab. So I'm going to rename this. Should update here as well because they're connected. The next thing I want to do is go to default here and go to add layer. And then under layer 8, I'm going to go to waypoint. I'm going to name it waypoints. Go back in here and select it, and then go to default waypoints. Now what you'll see here is if we click on my main camera, which is attached to the Leo, there's an area here called Culling Mask. And so what that allows you to do is that turns off anything on a specific layer that you don't want visible to the camera, but you want in your scene. So I'm going to go ahead and check that. Now you can see it's still in my level, and I can tweak it, but it's not in the actual main camera. Another area that I could see could be a problem is my character not being able to see these waypoints will actually run into them, causing him to stop, or if my enemies are going to these waypoints to sort of as a pathfinding system, what will happen is the character will bump into this physics collider. So let's just turn on is trigger so our character can pass through it. The next thing I want to do is I want to create a script that's going to sort of monitor where all of my waypoints are in relation to each other. So let's go to our scripts folder. I created a folder in here called enemy. I'm going to put in here all of the scripts that sort of pertain to my enemy. So I'm going to right here, click here, go to create C# script, and I'm going to name this waypoint. Hit enter, and just double click that and open it up. Okay. Inside of this script, I'm going to keep void start, but I'm going to delete everything else. Now, what I want to do is start off by making a public array of colliders. So what this is this is anything that has a physics collider attached to it. So we can see here that this has a sphere collider. So I can easily just drop that inside of the array. So public collider, I'm going to name it neighbor waypoints because this is going to monitor where all of my neighboring waypoints are. Okay, and I'm just going to put a semicolon there, hit Control S. Shrink this, and let's attach this script to our waypoints prefab. And you'll see that we get a size. So if I enter 5 here, it'll give me 5 empty spaces. The next thing I want to use is a pre-made function that has to do with that actual physics object. So let's just copy, I mean it should IntelliSense read it, neighbor waypoints, but we can copy and paste it from here. And we're just going to say that what it equals is physics dot overlap sphere semicolon. And if we go inside here and we put a comma, you can see there's two things here. Where is the current position of the sphere? So that's our object here. And then how far are we going to check if another sphere overlaps it? Okay, so we're looking for, if I highlight this, and I think it's Control Shift plus. or Control plus. Let's just look at this overlap sphere explanation here. And it says returns an array with all colliders touching or inside the sphere. Okay, so it's going to look for other spheres that are touching it. Okay, so that could be the enemy, the player, or whatever. So I'm just going to say the current position, which is transform.position, and then the distance. So we can do like 40 or something. This number is going to have to change. We might make that a public variable called radius or something. Actually, we can just go ahead and do that now. So public int radius. And I'm going to make that equal to 40. Just so that we have an initial value set. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that in here. I'm going to hit Control S. Go back in to make sure that radius appears. There we go. Radius equals 40. That way you can change it on the fly. So let's go ahead and with that script attached, I have size set here to 5. What's nice is this is dynamic, so it'll automatically update the size for overlapping spheres. So if we move our sphere, let's move it closer to these 3 boxes and the floor. It should be able to detect the sphere itself. It should be able to detect this box, and the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and press play. Oh, and you can see it did a lot more than that. It found all the coin prefabs. It found the floor. So anything that's close to the radius of the sphere. So I'm assuming all 3 of these are these 3 coins here, these 2 cubes, and then I'm surprised. Oh no, there it is, the floor box prefab. So I'm going to go ahead and check press play here. Okay, so let's sort of position these guys so that we have just sort of a logical progression. Say we want all of these enemies to come down at our player this way. So I'm going to hit Control D. Just duplicate a straight line for now. And then your game, you can go triangles or squares or whatever. Because when we go to actually add our enemy, I want them to follow this path straight towards our character. You can see I have waypoint prefab, each one. And we can go ahead and name these. What I'm going to do is jump back into my script, and I don't want it to select everything. So if I add a comma here, you can notice that there's a third option, which is a layer mask. So all we have to do in here is put in the number. We have to create a variable storing the number of our layer mask. But you can see our layer mask is actually 1, 2, 3, 5. So let's try that. So I'm going to type in radius. I'm going to keep my integers together. So public int. It doesn't necessarily have to be public. We can just do int layer mask. And then we can just come up with some name, mask equals 5, semicolon, and then we just drop a 5 in there. Do mask L for mask layer. Maybe that's predefined. Maybe we have to make it public because it's out here. Getting that error. Oh, it disappeared when I saved it. Let's see if we leave it not public, if it'll give me an error. Okay, so we can use 5 or the actual keyword mask. Storing 5. So let's press play and see if this works. Errors. Well, not sure if mask is already used. We might have to make sure that we mark it if it's not in a class as private or public. Let's see if that gets rid of the error. See, what is our waypoints on? Our waypoints are actually on, they're on layer 8. So let's go in here and make sure this is 8, not 5. And I think we have to do dot value. Save that. See if that goes through. I think I figured it out. I don't know why this int is here. We save that. Let's see if that works now. It gets rid of these errors. There we go. And let's select this guy here. See if it detects just anything that's on that layer mask. Neighbor waypoints 0, masked unnamed 3. See if we have to push it. Let's try this here. I'm just going to go ahead and select this sphere. Just change this to waypoints because it's in here. Let's press play and see if it finds them. It found 0, so let's type in 5 here. It found 5, let's type in 10. Try that again. Found the waypoints prefab. So let me just go ahead and name these really quick. 001. 102. Like this, hit waypoints. I'm going to hit apply. Let's see if it finds this other waypoint. Found 01. Increase the radius. Okay, so I went in here, I got rid of the mask value. I just made mask equal to 8, so I simplified my code. And what I noticed was, when I press play, it only finds the 1, but that's really because this radius is still too low at 50. So you can see here that if I get a little closer, it finds 2. So it's really just about finding your radius size. So your scene might be bigger or smaller. So it definitely finds the next waypoint. I'm going to try this again, duplicate this guy, name it waypoint 3. Try this one, see if it finds waypoint 3. I bring it out this far, let's see how far I can go. Waypoint 3, and this guy is waypoint 3, and this guy's waypoint 2. So it finds waypoint 2 and 3. So if we set this to, let's do 100. Still kind of. That's about it. I'd have to go in and maybe play with this radius here. Maybe this has to be 100 here. See if that changes it, like if it's not updating or something. I mean, we'll play with that more in the next tutorial.